So this is the journal I made for the Junk Journal Junkies sewing journal. And this is the cover. I have it tied with some seam binding and lace that's coffee stained. And I just did some decorative stitching here on the front, and there's some needles to kind of get with the sewing theme. We've got some buttons down the spine and the back. I have some more decorative stitching on the spools. And it was supposed to be a soft cover with 40 pages or 80 front and back. So this is it. The spine's about 1 inch. And we have, let's see. So we first go in, there's a doily with a little pocket, and there I have a journal card with Home Needle magazine from 1913. There's some pretty scrapbook paper, got a dress form. Let's see, a stamp of some scissors, and this is an envelope, and there's some embroidery, and there's a Renoir of a Lady's Sewing journal card. Here we've got another journal card here in this little tuck spot, and that's some pattern. And that's egg dyed paper, not egg, but Easter egg coloring stuff. Some of this children's paper to learn how to print. And here's a belly band with a piece of fabric of pattern, and in there's another journal card. Here's a little pocket with a tag. It's just a little thing I cut off from the original Sewing and Quilt Expo. Here's another Home Needle magazine, and this is another Renoir, the little girl sewing. And on the bottom here, I have a little sewing machine charm and a button and a bead, just to add some dangles. There's another one in the other signature. This one, here's another part of the Sewing and Quilt Expo. And there's a vintage ad for a sewing machine. What does it say? How lovely, every stitch is done on the free. So that's like another journal card. And then of course I have paper. There's some stitching around this brown paper. I've got a stamp there of a spool. And down here there's a safety pin, so you can do a whole lot of journaling on there. And there's just some more of that pattern to make a decorative edge. I think I was covering something because that was had some printing on the paper before I dyed it. This is a little fabric flip up. You could write some notes on there. There's some little button stamp hidden. And let's see, inside here we have a little mini journal, and it just says the sewing book on there. That's from an old book, and there's a stamp of a sewing machine. And anyway, it's a little mini journal. Journal inside a journal. There's some stenciling of a spool. And there's a stenciling of scissors. Here's another journal card. This little side pocket. And another journal card. And we come to the second signature. There's some certificate paper and some scrapbook paper. Here we have some stenciling of various things that are sewing related. Some rickrack. I love old rickrack. A little pin cushion stamp. Here's some stitching around some paper. And here's pattern instructions. That's joining lace to fabric. This is actually, these are little scraps. This is a paper clip, so you could use that as a paper clip. Here's a stamp of a needle and thread on graph paper. Another just decorative paper from Home Needle Work magazine. And there's a vintage sewing scene from a commercial sewing scene. I think it was 1900. I think I got that from the Library of Congress. And here's another charm dangling down from the signature with some scissors. Graph paper. This is from some needles. The needles are gone, and I did a little yo-yo with a button and just some fabric on that paper clip to keep that on there. More sewing instructions and paper, lots of journaling space. Here we have a little flip up pocket so you could write something in there. And here's a woman doing some probably embroidery. It's an old photo and I colorized it. And these are some more stenciling, a dress form, and some scissors on a stand. Here's a little tag of sewing in that pocket, and we've got a little tea things, but there's just a little bit of ruffled fabric on the pocket there, a little thimble, and on the back I did a little sewn pocket with a little kind of a library card back there with today's date so that you know when it was done. And just love my little charms down here. And that's it. I hope whoever gets it enjoys it.